Hey guys, good morning, everybody. Today is Thursday, May 25th. It is 6:20 right now. Market's going to open in about 10 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and set up this room real quick and we'll get started shortly with our analysis for today. It's got a couple of things here to update and we should be, good to go. So it's got to update this right here. A couple more things right here. One last thing right here, and we should be good to go. All right, solid. Let me get this link sent out to you guys here in the premium. That's good. Gotta make sure I mute everybody this time. Forgot to do that last time. All right, solid. So looks like we are good to go, guys. Get this link sent out to you guys here. All right, perfect. I'll get a few moments for people to make their way in. That's good. All right, perfect. People are joining their way in right now. Leave it alone for right now, and then we'll let this play through. All right, let's give it a few more moments for people to make their way in. And we'll get started. Just FYI, guys, there was news this morning at 5:30, so you guys can see this big spike up here. That's from the 5:30 news. I'm gonna go to market news real quick as well, so we can have everything pretty much lined up. So, all right, guys, morning, everybody. It's happy Thursday. Today's Thursday, May 25th. It is 6:23 right now. Market's gonna open in about 7 minutes. So I'm gonna go ahead and wait for a few more people to join in, and then we will get started shortly with our analysis for today. All right, I was testing out my MT4, guys. So that clicking noise was me exiting a position. I took like a 0.01 lot size just to make sure that my MT4 is working correctly. I accidentally dragged my MT4 over to my main screen this morning, and I had it corrupted, so I had to reinstall everything really quickly. So that's just like one trade right there that kind of just, obviously went through. It was just a small account. It's just a tester lot size to make sure that everything was good. Other than that, let me see. I gotta make sure my copier is working. I gotta add one more account to my copier. It's got to pay out on one of my FTMOs. So, it's kind of annoying. I don't know if you guys have ever tried to add your FTMO account after they give you a brand new account, and then it just won't connect on the copier for whatever reason. I tried it last night and it didn't work. So I'm gonna try it again this morning to see if it'll add on. Hoping it adds on. If not, it's okay. I'm just not going to have one FTMO copying today. All right, let's see what's here so far. Morning, Kenny. Morning, Maria. Morning, Daniel. Morning, Surin. Morning, Karen. Morning, CJ. Morning, Andrew. Morning, Hussein. Morning, Javier. Morning, William. Morning, everybody. Morning, May. Morning, Nick. Morning, AR. Morning, guys. All right, so hopefully everyone had a great trading week so far. I only traded on Monday. I haven't traded Tuesday, Wednesday. There were winning trades, but I didn't take the trade, obviously, but it's all good. Still in profit for this week, doing pretty solid. We'll see how today runs. We do have news coming up today, so we'll see how this ends up playing out. Morning, Rick. Morning, Patricia. Morning, Dan. Morning, everybody. All right, guys, market is opening in about 5 minutes. I'm gonna go ahead and sorry, I gotta like change a couple of things here real quick. Just trying to help my brother with his FTMO and all that stuff that I forgot to close everything out. So news event over here at 5:30. We had let's see, over here at 5:30, we have news at well, we had news at 5:30. We have news coming up at 7 o'clock, news at 7:30. And that's about it. So we got news at 7:30, and that's pretty much the upcoming news. We had news at 5:30. So I'm gonna go and mark this up over here real quick. This is a 5:30 candle. Obviously, you guys can see it's like the crazy looking candles over here that play out. Well, it looks like the market reacted to it a little later. This is the main chart, so I think we should be good. Actually, let me clean this up. I want to make sure there's nothing on the chart. That's news price right there. We have more news over here, 7 o'clock and 7:30. Okay, perfect. My copier is working. Yeah, this copier. Yeah, Kevin, thanks for the heads up. Yeah, no, I did that and it still didn't work, but it's okay. I think it's it connected this time. So now I can just connect the copier. Yeah, for whatever reason, sometimes it just doesn't connect. You know, I think it's because when you get a new account, it like connects to like multiple places. Like you connect to the actual phone app and then the actual app and then et cetera. So it kind of gives you an error, but it's all good. I got it all fixed up. All right, we have news over here at, I hate when this thing happens right here. So the contracts are shifting, guys. I don't think I can look ahead. Yeah, the contracts are shifting right here, so I can't look ahead because we're going into June. So I'll just leave it alone. I'll just remember that there's news at 7 and 7:30. If you guys can remind me, because I tend to forget, just remind me. I'll make sure we don't trade around those times, 7 and 7:30. Well, we'll keep an eye out for it. But anyways, let me mark up liquidity real quick before market opens. I don't want to miss this because it's going to happen super quickly. I don't think there's liquidity near price right now, but we definitely do not want to miss that. So we got that right there, that right there, there. Yeah, it's had a lot of things going on this morning, so I'm kind of like all over the place. And I plan on getting on this live session earlier, and then I ended up helping people with stuff with their FTMO logins and MFF logins and stuff like that. So I just got sidetracked, but it's all good. 4 hour, 2 hour. So this is why it's really crucial that you guys have the indicators. You guys can see that I'm able to like just log on really quick and literally knock out all liquidity within seconds. There we go. So it makes a huge difference. You know, if you guys can technically do this by hand, but it's going to take a lot of practice because even myself, like, you know, if I was to do this by hand, it would take me so much longer because I have to make sure that it's an actual high low that's untested and that it's like an actual valid one. So just, you know, future reference, guys, because I know some of you guys try to do this by hand. It's really difficult to do it by hand, especially if you're trying to beat the clock, right? All right, guys, looks like we've marked everything up. This closest one right here is a little close. I don't know if this is going to be useful. So this one might have to be checked. Right, we'll see. If anything, it might just be like a 100 pip move. Because it is kind of close. So let's see where price ends up going to. Big spikes over here on open. All right, let me see how far is this from. All right, it's not horribly far, but if you do take this trade or if you guys do plan on taking it, I would probably wait for, some sort of retracement of some sort because you just don't want a straight drop through, right? You want price kind of pull back a little, drop, pull back a little bit, and then shoot down below. But I would probably have sell buys for today. Let me take a look at the overall charts over here. Yeah, everything's still pretty much bearish. So if you are looking to take this, let's see. Yeah, it's a little overextended. So if you guys do decide to take it, I probably wouldn't take it right away. I probably would wait for it to pull back a little bit and then maybe patch the correction back down. It's a little overextended right there. The candle's a little too big. Probably not going to hop into this one right here, guys. I'll probably wait for it to pull back a little bit. If it comes back down, then I'll make my entry. It's just a little too close. You guys can see how overextended it is. I can see a possible fake out playing out over here. I'm not in this position right here. I'm going to wait for it. If it pulls back up and comes back down, then I'll make my entry just like I mentioned. So right there, you see how that it's faking out? Typical setup right there of fake out. It's just overextended. You can see how price dropped from here. Price drop from this area down to this point. It's 1,500 pips within like a few minutes. So I'd probably wait for it to come back down. Like wait for it to retrace up and then maybe come back down. But entering it right away is very, very risky. I wouldn't enter it right away. See how this is like faking out right here? Exactly what I mentioned, right? Overextension here is way too high. It's 1,500 pip drop with no retracement. Here goes price starts to come back down again. Still not looking to enter it yet. Wait for it to trace up a little bit because you guys can see how it keeps faking out right here, right? It's a little bit of a messy move. Still not in the position, guys. I might just skip on this one for today because this thing is just too overextended. You can see over here it's pulling back. I want it to fake out. Like I want it to pull up a little bit. And then when it comes back, like I want it to really pull back. Like I want it to pull back. And then I want it to come, obviously right back down. And then at this point, that's where I'll make my entry. So if you guys went for 100 pips, it looks like 100 pips already hit. Let's see. Oops. Yeah. So if you guys went for 100 pips, your 100 pips would have hit already. But I'm going to wait for it to retrace up a little bit. Yeah, so like I mentioned earlier, guys, if I was to take this trade, if I would have taken it, I would have only gone for 100 pips. So the 100 pips here already hit. If you guys take it for 100 pips, your TP would have already hit. So you should be solid. I'm going to wait for it to pull back a little bit, maybe look for a V1 variation from the top and then come back down. And then it'll probably make an actual drop from that point. So right there, this is the pullback that I'm looking for. So waiting for this to pull back. If I get a V1 variation from the top side, then I'll maybe catch it as it comes back down, but I'm not in this position right here. I didn't catch it for 100 pips either. But yeah, if you guys caught the 100 pips, already went to full TP right there. So there goes a fake out that I was talking about. See how it pulled up like that? Typical pattern. This is exactly what happened yesterday too, and the day before that. So if you guys remembered, I gave you guys the hint. I was like, okay, if price is overextended like this, you kind of want a messy push to the downside. You don't want a straight push down. So if you guys took it for 100 pips, already full TP, I didn't take it. I was waiting for it to pull back like I did right here. Now, if it comes back down, I'll make my entry. Because it'll just be a correction, right? I knew this fake out was going to play out right here. Hussein's asking, hi, Sean, for high-level momentum scalp strategy, does red flags apply to news, etc.? Not for that specific strategy. Not for the high-level momentum scalp. That's the only strategy that it doesn't apply to. It's the same answer that Andy gave you in the chat. It's the same thing. So it's the only strategy. Like that's a strategy that you don't need to confirm bias, and also a strategy you don't need to confirm red flags. Here we go. As price comes back down. I'll wait for it to actually come back down though. So see how it's still tracing up here, guys? So if price comes back down, I want to set a sell stop here, but I don't want to set it too early. See if I can maybe set it up over here. It's just hard to determine price difference because the candles here are so weird. I'm just gonna watch it. So guys, again, if you guys took the liquidity here, you guys, if you took it, like I said, for 100 points or 100 pips, you should have been fine going straight to your TP. The actual move right here, it's probably gonna correct back down. And as it corrects back down, it'll make a blast through because it still has liquidity to hit down here, right? So I'm gonna see what the price difference is right now between Trading View and MT4. So let's see, 32,752 minus 32,720. Huge difference from what it normally is, like 70 points usually. Right now it's only 32. Let me check again. Actually, I'm just gonna watch it. I don't want to miss this move here. Price ends up coming right back down. I see your question, Hussein. So just I'll answer your question when I get around to it. I'm just watching the price move around right here as it comes back to this area to see if I can catch it as it swings back down. Let's see where it's currently at. I'm kind of time with my MT4, but all right, still waiting for it to come back down. I might have to go for just 100 pips here because this thing's kind of like back and forth. All right, prices drop down right there. Profit as price comes down further. Move my stop loss and profit. I got in a little earlier, guys. There you go, stop loss. Profit. Let's see, drops a little lower. All right, my stop loss is in profit. Got kind of some slippage there, so I got in a little earlier. Dragging it down a little bit more in profit. Want to give away too much in case it spikes back up. Fuck. Let's see. All right. Well, I locked in. Okay, it wasn't bad, but I got stopped out with 1,000 profit. And I put my stop loss a little too close. It spiked up, stopped me out. It's all good. I caught partial move right there. Not mad about it. All right, it's all good. So price dropped down to this point. Oh, it's gonna drop the full TP. I already know it's gonna come down. It's all good. I didn't like the movement here, guys. You guys can see how price is moving. It's not really moving too smoothly. So I got in, got out. Super quick move right there. Typically I hold it for the full move, but the slippage here is just, I can see the slippage being kind of crazy. And I'll show you my profits right here. The slippage was pretty crazy. Actually, I don't know how the slippage was because my FTMO, I forgot to set my lot size. Yeah. All right, it's all good. My accounts are all kind of screwed up right now. I forgot to set up my other one that I just added on. I did the max slot of 50 on my copier. It's all good. I still made profit on it. Not a lot of profit, but did make profit on that trade right there. Price dropped down right here. I was waiting for it to swing down in this area. Price hit it. There's some slippage. The price like tapped my order. It swung back. It actually filled me like up here. When price dropped down to this point, I was like, okay, I'm gonna move my stop loss on profit because I pretty much was down. I was in profit like 200 pips right there. I was, I'm not gonna risk it. Price is not really moving too smoothly as I like. So price dropped down a little bit, moved my stop loss and profit to like this point right there. Price spiked back up, stopped me out for 1,000 profit. And I wouldn't be surprised if it comes down and blasts right through the full TP. I just don't want to risk it because this type of move right here, if you guys remember from my testing, the only time when the strategy is kind of like iffy is when there's a heavy news event that day, like prior or like right after. So there's a heavy news event right here at 5:30. Obviously, like I mentioned, it's going to hit TP. But I'm not going to mess with it. So Solid work right there. Big congrats to Kenneth over here. Kenneth said, just passed my challenge. Just need to finish the minimum days. Nice work, Kenneth. So there we go. Another member here in the group with a another funded account. Or he's on to his verification. So soon to be funded. So congrats, Kenneth, on passing your challenge right there. So guys, this is why I always tell you guys that there's no set in stone strategy that you guys should be applying. There's no one strategy. There's no one way to apply the strategy. You got to base all your trades off market conditions. Like for today, this strategy would have been fine if there was some retracement here. So if price came down or traced up a little bit and came back down, then great. But this came straight down. So when it came down like this, I said, if you guys want to take it, just go for 100 pips. If not, just wait for it to correct back down, which I did right here. I waited for it to pull back. And when it corrected back down, it filled my order. When it pulled down right here, really close to TP, I just moved my stop loss in profit. Unfortunately, price spiked up, stopped me out in profit, and then it just continued dropping. This is a messy move right here. Typically, these entries, they go straight to TP, right? This right here is not going straight to TP. This one's kind of just going back and forth. I think eventually it'll come down and it'll blast right through to TP. But right now, specifically, it's not doing that, right? And this is the type of trade that you want to be in. You can see right here that it got really close to TP, and then it just kind of faked out right there. A lot of this movement is based off the news. So that's why you guys want to be very careful when you're trading these types of strategies when there's heavy impact news. So for this morning, there was news over here at 5:30, high impact, prelim GDP, unemployment claims, prelim GDP price index, all positive news. And then price is now correcting back to the bottom side, right? It's where it's supposed to be. So you're kind of going against news, but you're also going with the correction. So with that said, we'll keep following this here. I'm not in the position anymore. It stopped me out in profit. I locked in. Let me take a screenshot of my profits so that you guys can see what I did for the day. I kind of screwed up on my FTMO copier. I didn't adjust my max lot size. My max lot size was capped at 50 lots. So unfortunately, I was only able to lock in partial profit, but it's profit. I'm not too mad about it. Profit's profit. So here, I'll just take a screenshot of this right here so that you guys know what trade I took. And I only went for 100, or I'll just, oh, it actually hit TP. My bad, guys, I'm tripping out. The number's off right here. It actually hit full TP already. I thought I had it at 33. It's supposed to be at 30. So it did hit full TP, the liquidity right here. Okay, that was my bad, guys. I didn't set it up properly. I just realized that. So it looks like a lot of you guys here actually took full TP on that. Maybe that's what you caught, Kenneth. That's why you got the win. But yeah, unfortunately, I only got out for partial. Unfortunately, it happened right here too. You guys can see where it spiked up. This is where I got pulled out. If I would have held on just a little longer for a few more minutes, it would have went straight to TP, but it's all good. I'm not going to look back on it. There's no point in dwelling on the past. Just got to take what you can get and then move on to the next trade. So let's move on to the next trade here. There's just that right there. And then here is my, my screenshot of my profits for the day. You guys can see right here, I locked in 960 off my main FTMO account. FTMO number 2 locked in 340, MFF number 1, MFF number 2, and MFF number 3, 210 per account. So pretty decent. Not the best, but I'll take it, right? Profit's profit, especially in a market like this where there's heavy news. You just have to take what you can get. Again, guys, don't get greedy. Just take your profits and just continue trading. So let me take a screenshot of my profits for the day. Nothing crazy. Overall, if you add my profits together, it's still pretty decent. So. There we go right there. And all my MFFs are the same, so. Let's take one screenshot. So it feels good to lock in some profits after 2 days of no trades. Yeah, overall, it's pretty solid. So let me just screenshot. Let me post these up real quick. All right. So as you can see, the market is moving pretty crazy right now. It's based off the news from this morning. We have more news at 7 o'clock, but a lot of this crazy movement is based off the news. You guys can see where news price was right here. So news happened right here. Price faked out, shot down, then it shot back up, then it shot back down, and now it's shooting back up. So you guys can see how messy the market is right now. It's not necessarily the market to take unnecessary risk. It's just how the market's gonna move today. This is why I don't trade news, or if there's a heavy news day, I try to be a little more careful and cautious. I just needed to lock in a trade. I felt like I needed that trade because I haven't traded in 2 days. So I felt like I just needed to do something. All right, so here's my main account. You guys can see my main account right here. I locked in 960. You guys can see the red strip because I moved my stop loss in profit. So price pulled down, moved my stop loss in profit, pulled back up, closed me out in profit for 960. Here is my FTMO number 2. You can see I kind of screwed up with the lot size. It's a 50 lot versus a 200. I didn't set the max lot size on my copier, so it only took a partial move. Total profit of 340. If I had this with a full lot size, I probably would have locked in. So 340 times 4. I would have locked in 1,360. It's all good. It happens. Sometimes I make mistakes. Sometimes we all make mistakes sometimes. And I forgot to change the lot size there. So 340 off that one, 210 off my MFF number 1, 210 off my MFF number 2, and 210 off my MFF number 3. So total profit about 246. So about like a little over 2,000 for the day across all of my accounts. Let me just copy these over real quick. Scrolling up, here's Dave over here. Dave locked in a total profit of 32.44 for the day. Not bad, Dave. Yeah, Dave said pull really early, still profit is profit. Yeah, exactly. So it's all good, Dave, because you locked in profit. So that's key. It doesn't matter if you lock in a loss for the day or any of that stuff. As long as you close out the day in the green or blue, whatever you want to call it. If you're on MC4 or a different broker, that's the key thing to look for, right? You just want to focus on maintaining your confidence in your strategy and in your trading. Because if you guys start to lose confidence in your trading, you're not going to do well, right? That's just the fact, because you're not gonna have the trade psychology to actually let your trades play through or even enter any trades. You're gonna be too scared. So as long as you're winning and your confidence is high, that's always going to be key. So there's no entries for us to take here right now. At the moment, if price comes back down, we may have a high low momentum scalp, but we don't have that right now. So there's nothing for us to take right now specifically. Let's look at everyone else's profits. We have Narith over here, total profit of 3,141 for the day, all wins. Great work right there, Narith. You killed it with those sells. Looks like you kind of double dipped into those entries right here. Yeah, you double dipped. Looks good though. So you did a pre-market right here. You double dip on that, or you re-entered. It looks like you were trying to enter 2 trades right here. Only one of them filled. Looks like the breakout kind of just like canceled your order, but looks good. So full profit of 3,000 for the day so far. Let's see what else we got over here. Nick said, I guess I was wrong. It happens. It'll probably push up right now, hold real liquidity, then drop back down. Yeah, I can see that too, Nick. So just gotta wait for it. It's gonna happen. Here's Vincent over here, total profit of 480 for the day, made 490 off that one trade. Nice work right there, Vincent. Looks like you had an accidental loss right there, but it's all good. It happens. We got Dejan over here, took the liquidity as well for 100 pips, total profit of 980 for the day. Nice work, Dejan. So it looks like a lot of you guys here did take the liquidity push. Thanks, Kenny. I'll check that out in a few. We have Eunice over here, total profit of 187 for the day, all wins. Nice work catching that liquidity right there as well. It looks like a lot of you guys listened to me. Whoever listened to me and took it for 100 pips, you guys locked in your full TP. We got S over here. I don't know if you answered my question yesterday or not. Happened with my trade. So we're at enter liquidity push. I did the normal TP stop loss through the DOM. But what I didn't know was that, yeah. So S, are you here right now? I just want to make sure. If you're here in the chat, let me know so I can just talk. Okay, S, yeah. So S over here put the incorrect TP stop loss. And he ended up getting stopped out at 200 pips. Yeah. rather than 300, even though it was 300. You know, what might have happened right there, ESA, is there might have been slippage. So there might have been slippage on it where it just spiked up, then it spiked back down, and then it just closed you at a different price point. Because it happens sometimes. Like, I don't know if, well, I can't remember what the market was like yesterday, but I think there was like some, you know, kind of spikes in volatility. That actually happened to Gion yesterday. So Gion messaged me yesterday. He had his pending order set. It actually spiked through his pending order, didn't even fill it, and then it canceled. So it happens sometimes. If the market's spiking around, like for example, right here, and I think this happened to you yesterday, right, Essa? Yeah, so it happened with you yesterday. So this happened, it's the same thing happened with Gion, except Gion's didn't even fill. So yeah, that's normal. It happens every once in a while where if the market's too, because like for example, if you tell your MT4 like, well, I want to enter at this point right here, right? And then say price is like way down here already, it's not going to fill your order. It's like, okay, Essa wanted to enter right here, I can't fill his order. Or what would have happened here is it would have spiked and then it would have filled your order. Like for example, say your stop loss was right here and it just spiked and then it came back up, it would have gave you like whatever was the best price. So that's like the downside of entering with a market order, because it'll try to fill you at the best price. And since you had a pending order, that as soon as it triggered that order, your stop loss, it was a market order. So that pending order switched to a market order. Or yeah, if you had a manual order, same thing. Whenever you click the button or whatever, it sets the market order into the trade, and then it fills you up whatever the best price is. So that's normal. It happens every once in a while. It doesn't happen too often, but it only happens when the market's kind of spiking around, kind of like how it did today and how it did yesterday. So yeah, I don't think there was anything wrong on your part. It's just a occurrence that happens every so often. You know, the market isn't spiking like 1,000 pips every day. It happens like maybe once every couple of days or once every couple times a month. Yeah, no, you're fine, Essa. Wasn't your fault. All right, one last profit over here from Patricia. Patricia locked in a total profit of 3,769 for the day. Looks like you had an accidental loss right here, Patricia. And then you made it right back. So it's all good. Full TPs too. Nice full TPs here with the green strips. So great work right there, Patricia. Yeah, no problem, Essa. All right, so we're looking for another entry here, guys. Nothing for us to take here at the moment. This right here would have been a high-low momentum scalp, but I probably wouldn't have taken it because a couple of reasons. So like, for example, depending on how long you guys have been around for, if you guys have been around when I've been taking these entries, I typically don't take high-low momentum scalps that come up like this. I want it to be a straight push. So depending on like how familiar you guys are with me applying the strategy, when I have a higher high like this right here, I typically look for, you know, a straight drop right after with the sell signal. Since price over here went sideways for a bit, I would have skipped this one, because this strategy is a directional strategy. So you typically don't want to enter trades when price is going sideways like this. So I wouldn't have taken the trade right here. I think the candle is also too big. Yeah, it's way too big. So I wouldn't have taken the trade here because if you guys are familiar with these types of candles, whenever a candle is too big like that, it'll probably retrace up to fill the candle before it comes back down. So not one that I would have taken there, but I just wanted to give you guys confirmation that, you know, that's a high-low momentum scalp that I would not have taken for this specific reason. So as you can see over here, guys, price is now ranging sideways. Not really too much direction here. So we got to wait for price to start moving directional again before we could look for any entries. Looking over here, I'm pretty sure this is confirmed now, so I don't want to leave that on there. So looking at this here, the next area of liquidity, I mean, liquidity is pretty far on both sides. So I don't think we'll get any more liquidity for today. If anything, liquidity on the top might hit, but I probably wouldn't be looking for a buy because the bias right now is probably a sell. I'll do a full analysis of the bias in a few. Let me just scroll up. I want to make sure I didn't miss any questions here in the chat. I know Hussein asked the question earlier. I don't want to miss his question. So let's see. All right, Hussein, let me scroll down real quick. So Hussein's question over here was, hi, Sean, do you execute trades manually or with limit orders? Since price moves so fast, do you set your entry, TP, and stop loss all in one go? Or do you click it manually when you're looking at the charts? So it just depends on the market conditions, Hussein. If the market's moving too fast, then I got to do it manually. I use the quick trade manager, so I have my TP stop loss automatically set. All I do is I hit buy or sell, and then it fills my TP stop loss automatically. If I have time and like, price is super far away and it's like not necessarily at my entry point yet, then there I will set my pending order in some cases. A lot of cases I don't. Most of the time I'm doing manual orders. But if I'm doing a pending order, then yes, I will set my TP stop loss because you have to do all that manually. But for the most part, I use the FTMO quick trade manager. I just hit buy or sell. My TP stop loss is set automatically, and I just let the trade go to where it needs to go. For today, I used a manual entry because I was waiting for price to come back down for the retest. Another problem with setting a pending order is that the pricing difference between TradingView and MC4 is always fluctuating. It's not the same. So sometimes it'll be around like 30 points, sometimes it'll be 70 points, sometimes it'll be 80 points. So it's hard to set that on your chart when the market's kind of like moving everywhere erratically. So for me personally, I like to do manual orders with a quick trade manager because it automatically sets my TP stop loss for me. So that's what I do usually when I enter trades. Let me scroll down a little bit. Yeah, it looks like a lot of you guys here locked in profits. Rick had a question over here. He's asking if there was a V1 variation at 646. Let me go over here to this chart. 646. Yes, this was a V1 variation right here, Rick, for a sell. Well, it depends on how big the candle was. Let me check real quick. Okay, this candle was too big. So if you're familiar with the red flags, I wouldn't have taken the V1 variation here. So see how there's a V1 variation right here, guys? But the higher highs is higher than the stop loss. So when a candle like this is too big, price typically will have to retrace up and it might stop you out before it comes down and hit your TP. So yes, this was a V1 variation, but not one that I would personally take myself because the stop loss is too high. So if I put the V1 variation criteria over here, you guys know about the red flags. This right here is applied, and then also you have to look at the red flags as well. The only strategy that doesn't use these red flags or bias, because you can see right here, you need to confirm the overall bias. Here, let me check the overall bias, Rick, to see what the bias was for the day. So fundamentals over here, let me refresh this. Fundamentals are down 40 points. So we don't have a fundamental bias right now. This needs to be down 100 points and it needs to be consistently below 100 points. So there's no fundamental bias over here. Looking over here at retail sentiment. Retail sentiment is, I don't know what it was like, 5 or 10 minutes ago, because this could have changed. It's 62% long right now. So the sells would be okay, but it's not very strong. So looking at the overall bias, there's no fundamental bias here because this isn't down 100 points. The retail sentiment over here is only 62% short, which is fine. Typically you want it to be like above 60, 65 or above, but this is okay. So this is okay for sells. But the main thing here, and one more last thing that you want to check for overall bias is the trend. So looking over here on the shorter time frames, the trend is currently neutral. As you guys can see, prices in between. For the 1 minute, it's actually bullish because price is above the pivots. Trend meter is green, pivots are angling up. Looking over here on the 5 minute, it's also bullish as well. Price is above the pivots. It's pretty neutral. It's in the between. So I consider this like bullish neutral. The trend meter is green and the pivots are starting to angle up. So on the shorter time frames, it's more of a bullish neutral bias. And then on the higher time frames, it's bearish, but this doesn't really matter too much if you're taking scalps. So looking at this right here, this is bullish neutral with regard to the trend. Fundamentals are not useful because they're not above or below 100 points. And the retail sentiment over here is 62% long. So with that said, you only have one bias here. So the overall bias is not present. So looking at the requirements over here, confirm overall bias, you can't confirm that, right? Because there's no bias. So with that said, there's no strategy for a V1 variation. So if you can't pass step 1, you can't move on to step 2. So for this right here, with that said, there wouldn't be a V1 variation because you can't even get to step 2. But even if there was step 2, you wouldn't be able to enter this trade because the red flags right here, candle prior to entry is too large. Right. So a couple of reasons right there why you wouldn't take this V1 variation. I have to emphasize this because a lot of people like taking shortcuts. Not that you're taking any, Rick, I know you're probably not, but there's a lot of people in the group who are taking shortcuts with these V1 variations. They see a double body and they already automatically think, hey, that's a V1 variation, but they haven't even looked at the criteria here. So whenever you guys are taking these entries, make sure you look at the requirements. If you have to stick a post-it on your chart to confirm that there is, everything's met, then you can do that. But you're not supposed to take these entries unless the first, like they're in order. You have to check them off one by one. And if they're not filled, you can't move on to the next step. So no V1 variations right now. There shouldn't be any entries that you guys are taking right now because I don't see an overall bias until the fundamentals start to shift. So right now they're currently neutral, unless it shifts to like 100 points in the red. And then also if you get like a overall bias here with the trend for a sell, then you can start looking for sells. But at the moment, there's no overall bias, so there shouldn't be any entries being taken at the moment, at least for any of the strategies that we're applying aside from the high-low momentum scalp, because that's the only strategy that doesn't require overall bias. All right, so let's see. So there goes your question right there, Rick. Scroll down real quick. Vince, same question, same answer to your question right there, Vince, 2 at 647. There's no V1 variation because there was no overall bias at that time. Well, I can't say for sure, but from my what I just looked at right now, I just don't see any overall bias there. Hussein's asking if we can show one example of a high-low momentum scalp. Let me see if an entry comes up here, Hussein, because so a lot of those questions that you're asking for, Hussein, those should be held for like the mentoring session because we're trading live right here. So if the trade doesn't come up right now, I'm not going to go back and replay to show you an example, right? Because we don't want to miss any trades here. So if we do see an entry right here, then I will show you, but I don't see one right now. There's one that's possibly coming up right here, Hussein. So if it does come up, I'll show you an example. But here's one that might be coming up, Hussein. There's a higher high right here. If we get a sell signal that breaks and closes past pivots 1 and 2 right here, then we may have a high-low momentum scalp coming up. So step 1, identify a higher high. There's a higher high right there. Step 2, identify a valid momentum signal using the momentum indicator. So if we get a sell signal right here with a red candle within it, that's going to be a valid momentum signal. You want to wait for the candle to actually close though, because you're going to see the candle kind of disappear. You have to wait for it to actually close. And for 3, you want to make sure that it breaks and closes past pivots 1 and 2. Pivots 1 and 2 is going to be this green and blue pivot right there. So this green and blue pivot is where price needs to break and close past with a sell signal, a valid sell signal. And then if that happens, then you can enter that for 100 pips. So I'll try to show you examples real time, Hussein. I think this is better than showing you something that's happened in the past because you can see it as it actually plays out. So right here, if this sell signal closes below pivots 1 and 2, which is this green and blue pivot, then that's going to be an entry for a high-low momentum scalp. I got to make sure that it actually closes though. So you want to make sure that you wait for the countdown. If you're not familiar with the countdown, there's a countdown right here on the right side. You can see it's at 21 seconds. You got to wait for this to go to 0 for the candle to close. And then once it closes, you want to make sure that it breaks and closes, right below it. See how price is now going sideways right here, Hussein? It's going back and forth, right? It's a messy movement. If it continues to move like this, then you probably don't want to take this entry because this strategy is a directional strategy. So you actually want this to be like establish a higher high and then come down very heavily. Because when you're doing that, you're able to figure out that, okay, this is a top, right? Or if you're looking for a lower low, you're like, okay, this is a bottom. So you basically want to identify the tops and bottoms, and then you want to catch momentum as it corrects back in the direction that it needs to go. So this right here, I don't like how this is moving. This is going back and forth. This is consolidation, ranging. So this is something that I'm going to skip. Even if we get a sell signal that comes down, I'm not going to take the trade. It's kind of like what happened right here, right? Price went sideways, then it came down, and then it reversed. That's typically what might happen here again. Price might go sideways, come down, and then reverse. So even if we get an entry here for a high-low momentum scalp, I probably will not be taking this trade. Yeah, it's all about backtesting, Hussein. So what I would recommend is, go and backtest the strategies, like backtest them like till you know it like the back of your hand. So you know the strategy and you don't have to ask me like basic questions like, hey, Sean, can you show me an example? Or hey, what's its requirement? Because once you backtest it, then you'll figure out, okay, this is what I don't understand, or this is what I need help with. And then that's where you ask me questions like, hey, Sean, I looked at this entry and I lost. Can you tell me what I did wrong? And then I'll explain to you what you did wrong. Because that's the only way you'll learn, right? If I keep showing you examples, you're not going to learn anything. But if you actually backtest and test them out and try, then you'll figure out, okay, this is where my problem is. And that's how you will, you'll get better at it. Because the requirements here are easy. This isn't like, nobody should have problems following the criteria here. When you run into like the more specific things like market structure and like, ranging and consolidating and stuff like that, that's where I can make explanations, when to avoid the trade. But it's not always the case. Sometimes price will be consolidating and it'll still work out perfectly fine. All right, let me just scroll up real quick. I want to make sure I'm not missing anything. Yeah, no problem, Rick. Got you with that. And we had news over here. Thanks, Andy, for the news reminder. I totally forgot there was news, so I wouldn't have even taken the trade right there if it came up. Let's see, Andrew said price coming back to open. Yeah, Andrew said that earlier and actually went straight up to it. So you were just on point with that, Andrew. So Andrew asked me if price was going to go back to open, and that's exactly where price went to, right there, that blue line. So if you guys are familiar with, with the blue line, that's the New York open price. It typically acts like a magnet as price continues to move along. So technically right here, there's an entry for a high level momentum scalp, Hussein. Again, as I mentioned, I'm probably not going to take this one because the reasons I just gave you. Price was kind of consolidating a bit right here. I'll mark it up for you guys, but I'm not going to take this entry. I just want to show this as an example for Hussein. For a high low, and there you go, full TP. So you guys can see the strategy works fine. It's just sometimes I don't feel comfortable taking the trade because I don't like when price goes sideways like this. If this was a straight push down, then yes, I would take the trade right away. Like if this candle right here came down and broke and closed below with the sell signal, then I would have taken it right there. But here's an example of a high level momentum scalp, Hussein. So there goes an entry right there. If you guys took it, great, full TP. Nice. Rick actually took it. So Rick took it, full TP. Question from Hussein is asking, do I need to back test, keeping market structure in mind, or do I take all entries while I back test? I would recommend taking all the entries without keeping market structure in mind, Hussein, so that you can like see you can practice every type of entry. So then in the future, you're like, okay, now I understand, like make sure that you journal every trade. So like when you journal every trade, you can like highlight which ones are losses. So you go back and look at the losses, and then I'm pretty sure you'll see that every time you have a loss, it's because price is ranging. So you want to learn from the basics, go from like blocks, right? Learn the bare basic strategy, and then from there, add on market structure. So, you got to make mistakes so that you understand why not to make the mistakes in the future. And they're technically not mistakes. Like for example, here, market structure wasn't going directional, but it still hit TP. So it's always good to see every type of example so that you have a better understanding of how it will work as you continue moving forward. Let's see, Martha said, got to run. It's my daughter's graduation. I'm great. Definitely, Martha. Congrats to your daughter, and I'll see you back here tomorrow morning as we wrap up the trading week. So 100%, guys. Rick said this is freaking awesome. Such a structured strategy. Yeah, so I'm teaching you guys the basics of the strategy. Like the strategy of bare bones is fine as it is, but if you guys want to get better, then that's when you start to incorporate different confluences like overall bias or market structure and stuff like that. A lot of that stuff isn't necessary because my strategies work fine even without that. But if you guys want to be like an expert trader in this type of trading style, then of course you're going to want to add more confluences. So I'm teaching you guys from A to Z basically. I'll teach you guys the bare basic strategy, and then from there, okay, you can start looking at these things to increase your win rate. So like for me, you guys will see here on these live sessions, like I barely lose any trades because I incorporate a lot of things that are not necessary, but they are beneficial. That's why I don't really lose any trades, because I'm zoned in on these entries. Other than that, guys, don't worry. There's nothing for us to take here. There was this high level momentum scalp that a lot of you guys took, but I didn't take myself. And it's all good. I'm okay with my profits right now so far. It's only 7:09, so we still have some time in the market. The one thing that you guys want to keep in mind is that we do have news over here at 7:30. So I will keep an eye out for that. We did have news over here at 7 o'clock. I'll mark up news price. And it's right next to the previous news price too. So the reason why I mark up news price is because that's typically where a lot of manipulation happens. So you guys can see over here, This news happened at 5:30, right? It happened like way over here at 5:30. And then look what happened over here when price got to this point. A lot of manipulation, right? So that's why I mark up these lines. Basically, a basic simplified way of looking at these horizontal lines that I draw on the market or on the chart. So the blue line is going to be opening price. Pink lines are going to be news price. And you can see where price gets manipulated. It's around those price points, right? And then on top of that, we have the sessions over here. This is the New York low, London low, Asia high. You guys, if you guys just like zoom out a little bit, let me take everything off the chart. I just want to show you guys, the power of having these indicators because, so I'll clean this up right here, just so that you guys can see. And look where price gets manipulated, right? See that purple line? Price comes up, fake out, comes back down. Look where the other fake out is right here. These lines were drawn up from yesterday. Like this isn't like stuff that came up just now. It's been here since yesterday. So see where price gets manipulated? That's the Asia high and that's the London low. It's on your sessions indicator and you guys can see exactly where manipulation happens. So I typically don't like to trade around these areas. Whenever you guys see these horizontal lines, I don't trade around those areas. Like you can get lucky every so often, but a lot of times you're going to get faked out and I don't want to get faked out. So I don't trade around these areas. You guys can see this whole area right here. It's all manipulation, right? Like literally this whole area up here is all manipulation. And then look where the smooth moves happen, right? Right here. This is where you want to be trading out in the open. So, just keep that in mind, guys. I'm going to give you guys as much information as possible. I've been trading for a long time. So like I've gotten caught in a lot of these traps. So I want to give you guys the benefit of the doubt to like understand and see what I'm seeing. It's different for me because I can see this stuff without the indicators. But in order for me to show you guys what I'm seeing in my head, I have to create these indicators because it makes things a lot easier. So, all right, that's it with that right there. There's no entries for us at the moment. So don't worry, you guys are not missing out on anything. I feel like a lot of people just have FOMO. They have the fear of missing out, but you're really not missing out on anything, guys. So don't worry about anything here. As we continue to analyze this market today. Yeah, I just saw your message, CJ. CJ said it's on the 5th candle, so I'll pass. Yeah, I would have thought the same thing. Hussein said, what I've learned so far from your trading style is that wait for the right entry and go big. Exactly. It's like fishing, Hussein. So I don't know if you fished before, but fishing and like surfing, they go hand in hand. So like with fishing, if you're a fisherman and you don't care about the small fish, you want to catch that big fish. So if you're sitting and just waiting for the big fish to come, like for example, this entry right here, I consider this a small fish. It's a risky trade. So I wouldn't have taken that trade there, but I'm just waiting for that big fish, like that for sure entry to come up. And then as soon as it comes up, I'm going to take that entry and it'll go straight to my TP. And then I'll be done for the day. Take like 1 or 2 trades and I'm done. Same with surfing, right? I don't know if you surfed before, but you're not going to go and catch every single wave. Like this is like considered like a small wave to me. I'm not going to catch a small wave. I'm going to wait for that big wave and I'm going to catch that move. So yeah, exactly. Sean only likes bluefin tunas. Exactly. I'm not going for no small trouts, right? Or any little small feeder fish. We're going for the big wins. Yeah, no tilapias. Exactly. So yeah, guys, I try to use a lot of these analogies so that you guys understand, because I feel like a lot of people they want to take like every single trade, but not every single trade is going to be quality, right? So you want to make sure you're looking for those quality entries, because if you're trading with a negative risk reward, you have to wait for those like really good entries, or else you can either end up in a really bad place, or you'll just be mad at yourself because you took a trade that you knew you should have skipped. Let's see. Rick said, right, it really helps hearing analysis as it's happening. It starts to get ingrained. Yeah. So like the more and more that you sit in on these live sessions, Rick, you're going to start to understand stuff. Cause like I can see stuff that a lot of people can't see because I've been trading for so long. It's kind of like reading a new language, right? It's like solving a puzzle every day, but I'm like a master at solving this puzzle because I do this live with you guys every single morning. So you think about it, if you analyze the charts every single day with me, you're going to start to see what I'm seeing on the charts, like without the indicators. I can do this with no indicators, but for me to teach you guys, it's like almost impossible because it's not that easy to see if you're like a beginner trader. So here's a clean chart. You know, I'll try to keep it as clean as possible on here. But again, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to mark up opening price. Well, first I'll mark up the range right now. So we got a range right there, got a range right here. Turn that off. We got opening price right there. And then we got opening candle right there. And we trade until about 8 o'clock. I mean, it's fine. We don't need this here. So there you go. So you guys can see, you know, it's a little difficult for you guys to see what I'm seeing just by having this empty chart right here. I know a lot of people like having clean charts, which is completely fine, but this right here will show you what's going on in my head, right? That's why I created these indicators, because it's hard for me to show you guys what's going on in my head without visualizing. So you guys can see here the visualization of like what we're looking for. It's a little messy, but if you guys know how to read my thoughts, then you know, it all makes sense. C6 said no filet fishes. I know, right? None of those. Let's see. Glenn is asking, do you apply a high-level momentum scalp on AUD/USD? No, I don't, Glenn. For AUD/USD, I don't really apply that because you can't really, I mean, you could scalp on it, but you can't really scalp the way that we do here. It's slightly different. I use the other strategies though, like I use a momentum scalp or pivot scalp and stuff like that, or I even use the V1 variation sometimes. Like for example, over here, see how price is like so far above on like your USD, then, you know, if you get a V1 variation over here, and you can see there's a lot of V1 variations right here, V1 right there, V1 right there, and they all hit TP. It's just, you got to wait for that retracement. It's a different type of way of applying it because Forex doesn't move the same as US30. It's not as fast. So you might be holding on to these positions for like a couple hours before they actually hit. You can't do the high-level momentum scalp because, I mean, you technically can, but it would probably have to be on the higher time frames because, you know, Forex is a ranging market. You're not going to catch like quick moves like how we do on US30. So, I mean, technically the strategy does work, but so like, for example, right here, higher high, sell signal break and close below. Your TP stop loss would be like at the swing high right there. So say 13 pips. It would hit your TP, but you'd be holding on to this position for like, let's see, for like 5 hours. It's not a scalp. It's no longer a scalp at that point. So yeah, Glenn. You know, if you want to trade AUD/USD, you could trade any of the other strategies, but it's probably going to be a little difficult for you to catch stuff like that during these types of conditions. All right, there's still no entries here, guys. I'm going to be looking for entries, but I just don't see anything here right now. So let's start over and let's take an overall analysis of the charts. So let's take a look at the technicals first. The technicals right here on the 1 minute are bearish. It's bearish because price is below the pivots. The trend meter is red. Pivots are angling down. Same thing over here on the 5. Price is below the pivots. Trend meter is red, and the pivots are angling down. 10 minutes, same thing. 30 minutes, same thing. 1 hour, same thing. 4 hours, same thing. So if everything here is bearish, then we have an overall bearish bias with regard to the trend. Let's take a look at the fundamentals real quick. Fundamentals are currently down 84 points. In order for this to be confirmed to be bearish, it would need to be below 100 points, and it would need to stay below 100 points consistently. So it can't be going between like 90, 80 back to 100, 90, 80 back to 100. It's got to be 100 and then stay below 100 consistently. So it's got to be like 100, 120, 130, 150, etc. Stay down below that point in order for us to have that fundamental bias. Lastly, over here at retail sentiment is currently 62% short. This indicates that 62% of retail traders are currently selling right now. So you typically want to do the opposite. And I mean, it shows that 62% of retail traders are currently buying. So you typically want to do the opposite and sell, right? So if everybody's buying right now, you want to do the opposite and sell. Everything else lines up. Fundamentals are bearish, technicals are bearish. So of course, you probably want to look for a sell if you have that opportunity. We don't have it right now, but if we do, possibly look for the opportunity to make a trade here in the direction of a sell. No high-low momentum scalp right there. This was a pivot scalp. I don't know if anybody caught this as a pivot scalp. So again, if you guys are familiar with any of my other strategies, confirm overall bias, it's bearish, confirm valid momentum signal, there's a valid sell signal right there, confirm prices below the pivots. Right there's a sell entry, and that would be a pivot scalp. Looks like I already went to full TP. Or not, yeah, I did. I blasted right through it. Yeah, so yeah, Daniel over here said a high-low momentum hit a few minutes ago, plus a pivot scalp just hit as well. Yeah, actually there was a high-low momentum scalp right there. So yeah, if you guys are in the Zoom right here, you guys can see everyone is pretty much commenting on all the different strategies that came up. iPhone said there was also a momentum scalp right there as well. Momentum scalp, pivot scalp, high-low momentum scalp right here at lower low, the buy signal that broke and closed above it, and it shot straight through. I just, for me personally, I probably wouldn't have taken that trade because price was ranging again. As I mentioned before, guys, I just don't like when price ranges like this. If it was a straight push, I would have taken it. But if you guys want to take it, you guys can see that the strategy still works fine. So Hussein, as you can see right here, these two entries had a ranging movement, but they both hit full TP. So that's why I was telling you, like, market structure isn't required, but it is recommended for me personally, because I don't like losing trades, like I mentioned before. I only want trades that are like, I'm like 100% sure are going to hit. So, I mean, it just depends on the person, right? Some people like to trade risky. For me personally, I don't like trading risky. It's not within my spectrum. For me, I like to win trades. I don't like to lose any trades at all. If I ever lose a trade on these live sessions, I'm usually done for the day. So thank God I haven't lost a trade all month. It's been pretty solid for the month of May. And obviously I want to keep that going. So it's just up to preference, guys. If you guys want to be risky, take, whatever trades you guys like. But for me personally, I want to make sure that I guarantee or try to guarantee, the best possible trades for you guys here to take. My goal here is for you guys to win. I want all you guys to win. I want all you guys to get funded and, make a ton of money. Like it's crazy how like trading has changed my life. I want to pass that on to you guys as well. All right, so there's nothing else right here right now, guys. We have news coming up at 7:30, so you want to be a little careful with any entries here. Let me check the news calendar real quick. The news event over here at 7:30 is going to be the natural gas storage, light impact news, nothing crazy, but we will, we'll see how that plays out. I said that last time that it's not very crazy, and then like a month ago, this thing like shot up pretty heavy. We also have the Fed speaking here at 7:30, so you want to be a little careful with any entries here. We have Fed Collins speaking here at 7:30. He's probably going to talk about the debt ceiling and probably like, some inflation stuff. So just be a little careful with entries around this time. So I'll look for entries here. If we don't see anything, it's okay. Not going to force anything. But we'll just try to see where this ends up going. I think price will be bearish though. So from my perspective, I think price will be bearish. That's the way I'm seeing it right now. I'm thinking price will be a little bearish, but we'll see where this ends up going. Looks like there might be a high-low scalp coming below here. I think if price breaks and closes past the structure, is going to be a high-low scalp entry right there. I know it's not one of the official strategies that we're applying, but I just want to give you guys a heads up. We got a lower low right here. Price has not been broken yet. It hasn't been touched. We have a sell signal. Overall bias is a sell. So a possible high-low moment, not a high-low scalp. Sorry, I get these mixed up myself too. We have so many strategies here, like 30 plus strategies that I'm teaching you guys, or that I've taught you guys over the years. So sometimes I get the names mixed up, but there's probably a high-low scalp that might be coming through over here below this area. I think the next area of liquidity is pretty far down too. So if price does drop, I mean, this liquidity probably won't get hit by today. Maybe tomorrow it'll reach that point. It's about 2,000 pips away. It's pretty far. All right, looks like price is going sideways. We got news coming up over here in about 5 minutes. So guys, since news is coming up shortly, I'm going to step away for like a few moments. If you guys have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. Otherwise, I'll be back shortly. Just gonna grab something real quick. All right, guys, I'm back. Yeah, nothing's happened. Just like I anticipated. Got news coming up right here in a few, about a minute. Hey, Barty, thanks, man. Just saw your donation right there. Awesome. I don't think I ever got one of those. But I appreciate it, Barty. So there's nothing going on right here, guys. We're just waiting for something here to play out. We got news coming up over here. So price is just, I mean, the range is getting tighter. So you can see right here, we have a higher high that's starting to establish right here. If this is the case, I'm going to bring this zone down to lower, which is fine because when price starts to squeeze like this, it's just preparing for a breakout. So if you guys are familiar with market structure, there's like there's three different ways that market moves. Price will either go up, it'll go down, or it'll go sideways. When it goes sideways, it's just preparing for a breakout. Price starts to squeeze a bit, which is obviously normal. So, all right, we have the higher high right there. If you get price that breaks and closes below the pivots 1 and 2 with the sell signal, possibly another entry for a high level momentum scalp. And we'll end up seeing where this goes. But this is the news candle. So yeah, Daniel over here did mention that this is news candle. So you want to be careful. You probably don't want to take entry off this candle here if it does close, because this is the news candle. Let's see, Barty over here. Is this you, Barty? Sam? All right, so I think this is Barty over here. Barty locked in the total profit of 309 for the day. Took a buy over here for US30. Nice. Looks like he might have taken the high-low momentum scalp right there. 713. Let me check. Yeah, you did. So that's the trade that you took right there. It looks like the high-low momentum scalp. There's a buy entry right there, lower low with a buy entry with a buy signal. I'm just looking at your time stamp of your entry. So it looks like this might have been the entry that you took, but great profit right there, Barty. Total profit of 309 for the day. It's interesting. You have your alarm set right there. Done market could reverse now. Yeah, probably a good idea. So yeah, if you want to cut off trading at like 7:30, that's fine too. I cut off at 8 o'clock, but 7:30 is cool too. Just set up your time for when you decide to hold off. So nice work, Barty. All right, so that's it for right now, guys. Looks like we may have a possible, again, this is a possible high-low momentum scalp. So I want to make sure the candle's not too big. It's always a thing to look out for. Pricing to pushing through there. So there goes a high-low momentum scalp right there. Let me see. I was going to try to get into this right here, but I think I might have missed it. Hasn't hit yet. See, I'm gonna wait for it to pull up a little bit and maybe get in for a late entry. Right here for a high-low momentum scalp. I couldn't get into it. So price is pushing up right here. I was gonna put a sell stop, or I could still technically put a sell stop here. This price comes through. Yeah, if it pushes up too high, I'm probably gonna cancel it. As I mentioned earlier, guys, this was a news candle right here. So you want to be careful with taking trades near news candles, because something like this will happen where you'll get a news spike that happens after the news has passed. So like news will happen right here at 7:30. And then after that, if there's no price movement based off the news, then typically it'll just have a late reaction. So this is, again, like I mentioned earlier, guys, I don't like trading around news. Let me see, I put my sell stop there if it comes back down. Nice. Looks like Rick actually took it earlier and hit his TP already. So that's solid. I didn't get into the position. I'm just waiting for it right now if it comes back down. Let's see. So here we go. Its price comes back down to this point. I still haven't entered it yet. I just don't like how it's moving right now. I probably would have to enter it manually. I didn't put a pending order. I was going to put a pending order there, but I don't know the price difference between TradingView and MT4. So again, real quick. All right, awesome. I got in real quick, guys. Blasted right through my TP. I waited for it to come down right here. I said I was going to enter manually. I got in a little late, so I got in like a little right here because I hit sell and it just spiked right through and hit my TP. So I locked in 1,960 off that trade. Quick. I mean, depending on when you guys entered, it still should have hit your TP regardless. The entry was right there. It did pull back into retracement, but it did come back down and blast right through to TP. So Barty, or no, sorry, not Barty, Hussein, this is the type of setup that I was looking for. So look here where, let me just replay real quick. So see how like we had the higher high right here, it established the top and then it came down smooth. See this right here, Hussein? Like it came down right here and it blasts right through, right? That's what I'm looking for. I don't want when price is going sideways or whatever, consolidating, ranging. This is the setup that I'm looking for, this right here. It's not the only setup, but this is what I'm typically looking for when it's pushing through. So it blasted right through, shot through my TP, got some slippage on that, caught up on my FT1 number 2. So I'll send you guys my profits on that right now. So if you guys took it, awesome. If you guys didn't, it's okay. I was a little hesitant on it because of the news candle. That's why I was waiting a little bit for it to kind of push through. And then it ended up just filling my order and then, blasting right through to my TP. So you guys can see the strategy works fine. It's just really trusting it. It's hard to, I know sometimes it's hard to trust, guys, especially if you're new to the group or you're new to trading with me. Trusting these strategies are a little difficult because it's not your typical strategy that everybody applies. It's actually very different. I don't know anybody else that trades like me, or trades live like me every day with these types of strategies, because these are risky strategies unless you know what you're doing, which thankfully we know we're doing. So it's not really necessarily risky, in my opinion, because I know I'm not just taking random trades here. So here is a screenshot of my profits for the day. Nice. Rick said he snagged it. Awesome. Yeah, congrats, Rick. Awesome profit on there. Let me show you guys. So, I want to be 100% transparent with you guys when I'm taking these trades. I only count the ones that I take. So here are my profits right there. Let me go and take individual screenshots of the trades. So here is my FTMO number 1. Finally got that green strip. It's really just trusting your strategy and not being scared. I feel like that's probably the biggest thing for a lot of people. A lot of people are just scared to take entries. You got to understand, like, I feel like a lot of people they don't realize that losses are okay. Losses are going to happen. So whenever I take a trade, I'm like, whatever about it. I enter it. I'm like, okay, if I win, great. If I lose, great. I don't really feel any indifference between my entries whenever I trade, because I know eventually, if I do lose a trade, it's probably just not my day. But typically it's going to work out. All right, Brock, I just saw your profits. Let me show you guys where I locked in. Right there. Nice. So Barack said, yeah, good to see you here. Sayum said, got it, done for the day, 1,200 pips. That's enough. Thanks, Sean. Definitely, Sayum. So great trading day for you so far. You made 1,200 pips off this live session. Here are my profits. Yeah, so overall, I did pretty solid. Let me show you guys real quick. So I took a screenshot of all my profits right there. This is all my accounts. Here are my individual accounts. So here's my main FTMO. You guys can see the green strip. I let that trade run to full TP. Same trade that we took right here for that sell. I entered right there, and then it blasted right through to my TP. Total profit of 2,920. This is off my main account. Here is my second FTMO account. Total profit of 1,900. Here's my MFF number 1. 830, my MFF number 2, 830, and my MFF number 3, 830 as well. So for the day so far, I'm currently up. Let's do the math real quick. 2920, sorry, 2920, 1900, 830, 830, 830. So I'm up 7,310 from this live session with you guys. I only took 2 trades, really. I took the liquidity push, and then I took the high-low momentum scalp that just came up. Like literally just 2 entries, and this is my profit across all my accounts. So I have 5 accounts, 2 FTMO, 3 MFFs. I'm taking like partial profits on the MFFs. I should have split these up. That's what I forgot to do. I wanted to split them up into 100K accounts, but it's all good. I'll wait till later. Some more profits here from Maddie. Maddie is currently up 2,015 for the day, up 3,345 for the week. Great work, Maddie. Yeah, Maddie's killing it. So now that you're trading full time, Maddie, I got to drill down on this. We got Barack over here as well. Total profit of 5,772. All wins. Nice work, Barack. If you guys have any more profits to post up, feel free to send them in. Otherwise, we will continue on with our analysis for today. It's 7:40 right now. It's getting close to 8. So we'll keep looking for entries, but it's getting close to 8 o'clock, so it might be time to wrap it up soon. All right, price is pushing over here. See, Daniel said I'm good for the day. See you guys tomorrow. All right, Daniel, see you back here tomorrow. Let's see, Vince said earlier the 727 candle had a lower high on it, which showed me a V1, but when I took it, the 728 candle went past above it, creating a new lower high. Would it still be a V1? So yeah, if there was an entry at the time, Vince, it would still be an entry. So it looks like you took the one at 727. Yeah. So sometimes it repaints like that, and that's fine. So yeah, this right here would still, so this is a trade that Vince took. He's just mentioning like, because the problem with that indicator is that sometimes it repaints and then it ends up creating a new higher high. So like, for example, over here, it had a lower high. So this is where Vince actually entered the trade. He entered the trade and he was like, oh shit, price went up, right? I know that feeling. Price went up. It's like, oh fuck, I entered too early. There's no way to confirm it, Vince, because like price can push past it like that. I get that feeling all the time when that happens, and it always pisses me off because I'm like, man, I thought there was a lower high right there, and it keeps pushing up higher. But then sometimes it just does that. So this is like the fake out. So like, for example, sometimes people put their stop loss right here at the previous lower high, like this area. That's why we have a set TP stop loss. It's 300 pips because we don't want to have it too close. It was too close right here. This is people that got stopped out. Price came up, it faked out, stopped them out right there, and then it did what it was supposed to do. So, there's a reason why I have a set TP stop loss. So this won't happen. Because if you put your stop loss right there, you would have gone screwed. You would have gone stopped out. But thankfully you did it and it went straight to your TP. So it's all good, Vince. That's the reason why I have, I've done a lot of data testing. So all of my TP stop losses, they're based off like, I've done years and years of data testing to figure out what's the best TP stop loss for the 1 minute chart. And that's how we figured out that there specifically. There's another V1 variation coming up right here. I wouldn't really want to take this because, the pivots here are looking kind of weird. They're kind of like crossing over each other. So the trend here might be shifting a little bit. Yeah, exactly. Andrew said was kind of nervous on that because it was all in the pivots. Yeah, and I agree with you too, Andrew. It's another reason why I would be a little careful. And that's another confluence that you guys can start to incorporate in the future. So Hussein, like in the future, I'll try to explain the pivots to you a little better. But just stick to the basics, learn everything step by step, foundational stuff. And then another confluence would be the pivots over here. Because these pivots are like they're hints. They're giving you hints as to where price is going to go. Like for example, right here, see how prices break and retest of the pivot. So price broke above it, retested right here. This could be a reversal pattern to the upside to break and retest confirmation. So that's why I like the pivots. They act as a dynamic support resistance or dynamic pivots. They move with price. So they help identify where price is likely to continue going. Yeah, Barty said, Satyam found the Holy Grail. Yeah, Satyam really likes the V1s. I think that's like his favorite strategy. The dude takes every V1. Doesn't matter if it's not even a V1, he'll just take it. If it's a double body and it looks like a V1, Satyam will take it and he'll typically hit his TP. So it's all good. But yeah, if you guys have any more profits to post up, feel free to send them in. Again, if you guys are new here and you guys want to learn these strategies, this might be like a brand new language to you that I'm speaking because you guys are not familiar with this stuff. Just go to the website, kodikaitrades.com, click on unlock your free access right here. This will give you access to the course and you guys can pretty much review the videos explaining all of these strategies, the V1 variation, V2 variation, high-low scalp, high-low momentum scalp. Liquidity push is covered in the mentoring sessions. Yeah, there's a lot of videos here explaining those key things. Other than that, yeah, Rick said definitely a new language, but it becomes more familiar the more I watch the videos. Yeah, exactly. Just like what Rick said, the more that you guys practice and the more that you guys listen to me talk, the more that you guys will understand my analysis and you guys will be able to profit off my moves here or off my analysis just in general. There's a lot of people in this group who don't even apply my strategies. They just listen to me talk and they're able to catch trades because they can hear me provide my explanation. And look where price is going right here, right? I just gave you guys that analysis, the break and retest. Price broke and closed above the pivots, came back for the strong retest right here. And look where price is going. So I'm pretty sure there's probably somebody in the group that listened to me say that and they took the buy right there and they're probably like deep in profit. So yeah, I mean, back in the day, I would trade like this. When I used to trade solo by myself, I would take trades like this. I see the break and retest, I see these little patterns here, and I would take a trade. Now I'm a little more disciplined. So I used to make a lot of profit like before when I trade solo, but I would also lose a lot. So, I end up like at break even by the end of the week. So trading with you guys here live, it's kind of like a refresher because now I'm just focusing on really quality entries and then my profits just add up throughout the week, right? So for today, I'm currently up 7,300. And then I only took one other trade this week, which was on Monday, which was right here. Right? I just took one other trade here. So this right here plus 6,020. That's how much I'm up right now. I only took three trades for this entire week. So, it's just all about consistency, guys. If you guys can find consistency, that's going to be your holy grail. I think the holy grail is really consistency. There's not one strategy to follow. It's really just being consistent, trading live with me every day, understanding what you guys are doing and learning from your mistakes. If you guys can do that, that's going to be the game changer for you guys. Brock's asking, was that a 740 M1? I think you mean V1, right, Brock? There was no V1, or I mean, technically there was a V1 here, but the bias is no longer bearish. Or there was no so there's no V1 here for a buy because you need a pending buy signal. There's a buy signal already here, so you wouldn't be able to take that for a buy as a V1. It's a double body though, so it's a double body reversal pattern, but it's not a V1 variation. Barty said, can I learn from your website about the V1? Yeah, so Barty, if you want to learn the V1 variation, here, let me see if I can pull it up for you guys. Let me see if I can pull up the course for you, Barty. Because I don't know if it's on the free course. You can learn on the website. I just don't know if it's on the free course. So let me see. Let me pull up the free course real quick. I mean, if you have the like the actual strategy course, then yeah, for sure you can learn on there, Barty. But let me check the free course, or let me just check over here. I'll show you on the actual course where you can find it. Okay, so if you guys sign up to the strategies, if you scroll down over here, Barty, go down to the scalping strategies. You're gonna see the modules here. It's like farther down to the bottom. It's an older strategy. So right here, K2 trades scalping strategies. It's gonna be this one right here. KT US30 1-minute variation V1 strategy. And that's Cy Young's favorite strategy that he likes to apply. He doesn't apply it perfectly every time, but he does apply it, for the most part, how it's supposed to be applied. And that's the one that he takes right there. So yeah, that's where you can learn it, Barty. I'm not sure if it's in the free intro course. Let me see if I can pull up the free intro course here. Because so if you can't find it on there, just go to the website, click unlock the free access. If you guys can't find it there, you can go to the YouTube channel as well, youtube.com/Kodi Trades, or you can even message me. Just message me, Barty, and then I can give you the direct link. Because you can find it here too. It's under the YouTube channel under strategies. So you go over here to strategies. It's right here. So if you go to the YouTube channel, it's Kodi Trades, 1-minute variation V1. So if you message me on Telegram, Marty, I can just send it to you. But if you have the course, it's even better. You would need the indicators to use it. So that's like kind of the catch. It's going to be hard for you to follow unless you have the indicator. So yeah, a video right here I can show you. Yeah, exactly. Hussein said high-level momentum scalp is better to check on the website because the YouTube is just 3 minutes of the video. Yeah, and I agree with you too, Hussein. All the videos you guys want to watch should be on the YouTube on the course because the course is going to give you guys a full video, the full clip. No entry right here. Got close to it, but not exactly right there. See, question from, let me scroll up real quick. iPhone's asking, what's the price for liquidity to the upside from this morning? Price for liquidity right there, iPhone, is going to be 32,871. This is trading view price though. It's not MT4 price, so just keep that in mind. iPhone, it's 32,871. And that's 32,871 for liquidity up there. I mean, that might get hit later today or by the end of the session. So if you want to look out for that, just, keep that in mind. If not, it's probably gonna get hit tomorrow. So it's got a lot of time to hit. But other than that, there's no other entries here right now. There's a new lower low, so possibly another high level momentum scalp, but I don't see that coming right now. You need a buy signal break and close above pivots 1 and 2. But you guys can see how price is squeezing. Let me draw the range right here. Price is squeezing pretty tight. You can't see it too well here, but here's the clean chart. So with price squeezing like this, it is just preparing for a breakout, right? When price starts to squeeze like this, it's probably going to break out in either direction. So whenever price squeezes like this, it's just preparing for a breakout, which is likely to happen. So probably not the best time to make entries here unless like you have a direction of bias. I think bias is bearish right now. Yeah, it's neutral on the lower time frames, but it's bearish on the higher time frames. Fundamentals right now are currently bearish neutral. They're not down 100 points. So we don't really have an overall bias right now. Sentiment right now is currently 62% short or 62% long. So we're probably gonna look for sells here. I think it'll probably continue dropping. But there's no bias, so you can't really take a V1 variation. In order for you to take a V1, you need to have an overall bias in a certain direction. So no V1s right now. Not really too much to base any entries off right now. Price is just squeezing down this range. So the breakout's likely to happen probably within the next couple hours or so. Yeah, no problem, Barty. Yeah, if you have any questions, just message me, Barty, and I can help you. I'm here to help you guys out. If you guys have any questions, put them in the chat. It benefits me just as much as it benefits you. If you guys ask me questions about an old strategy, that's cool because it just forces me to go back and review that strategy, like one that I haven't applied in like months. Saeed said his favorite indicator is the Sean Yan. Exactly. Luckily, it didn't happen today. We made some pretty good profits, but it's been happening for the past few days with the slow market. It's probably going to happen soon too if this market continues to go sideways right here. But all right, guys, it's getting close to 8 o'clock. If you guys have any other questions, feel free to put them in the chat. I'm here to help you guys out. So whatever you guys need help with, put your questions in the chat. Otherwise, it looks like we're going to be wrapping this up pretty soon. I totally forgot the Fed was speaking right now too. So Fed, Collins is actually still speaking right now. He started at 7:30. The speaker here is still on, so it looks like he's still probably speaking at the moment. We have some more news over here at 8 o'clock, Kansas Fed Composite Index and Kansas Fed Manufacturing Index. Then we have more news over here at 8:30, 8-week bill auction, and then the 4-week bill auction as well. So that's about it. Let me check the news for Friday. We have, again, some high-impact pre-market news on Friday, 5:30 a.m. We have core PCE price index, core durable goods orders, durable good orders, goods trade, personal income, personal spending, prelim wholesale. And then at 7 o'clock, we have revised UOM consumer sentiment, revised UOM inflation expectations. A lot of news tomorrow. So just keep that in mind, guys. A lot of news tomorrow morning. But other than that, we'll still be here to trade. And then just another reminder, guys, Monday is a holiday here in the US. It's Memorial Day. It's actually a holiday for Europe as well. So it's a holiday here in the US, holiday for Germany, holiday for French, and holiday for the UK. So with that said, we are not going to be having any live trading session on Monday due to the news. I tried to trade news before in the past, and I've lost accounts. So I don't recommend you guys try it. It's not worth the risk. You violate your funded account if you trade during those news days and hold your trade over the closing period. Let's see. Shannon said she took some trades today, trying to feel out the trading view. In the blue tomorrow, only going to take Sean's entries or momentum. Yeah, nice. So over here, it looks like Shannon tried out a couple trades, played around a bit, and did her day in profit, 33 in profit. Nice work, Shannon. Yeah, so total profit right there of 33 for the day. Just a little testing, some playing around. It's a lot easier. I wish we could trade directly here on TradingView, but we can't unless I have a broker that works this way. Maybe in the future. All right, Hussein said, have a nice day, Sean. Goodbye. All right, guys. So I think that's it for the day. If you guys have any questions, feel free to message me on Telegram. That's probably the fastest way to get in touch with me. If you guys want to email me, you can also email me, Sean@KodiKaiTrades.com. Otherwise, if you guys are brand new here, just go on our website, KodiKaiTrades.com. Click on unlock the free access to get access to all the videos. And then if you guys want to rewatch any of the mentoring sessions or live sessions, just pull up the YouTube channel, youtube.com/KodiKaiTrades. Pretty much everything /KodiKaiTrades. And you guys can watch, all of the live sessions, all of the results, all of the mentoring sessions, all the strategy videos, etc. There's a lot of content on here for you guys if there's something here that you guys want to learn. But yeah, other than that, I don't see any other entries coming up. You can see that price is just squeezing and going sideways. So I don't expect anything here to play through. Nice. So Shannon said that she has a TradeObate on TradingView. Yeah, no, definitely. You can use TradeObate or you can use TradeStation, or they're both good. You guys can use AMP. There's a lot of good options. But yeah, other than that, guys, I think that's pretty much it for today. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, we'll wrap this up and come back tomorrow as we officially close out the trading week. So, all right, guys, that's it for today. If you guys have any questions, reach out. Otherwise, I will see you guys here. Oh, wait, 1 second from Rick. Rick said, I'm trying to find the CNBC page. It's just the main page, Rick. You just go to cnbc.com. And it's going to show right here on top. Click on US, and it'll show you all of the indices up here. All right, guys, other than that, I will see you guys back.